Hi, welcome to another Entitled Parents episode of StorytimeGuru. In this episode, we will read 3 of the best Entitled Parents stories. Our first episode is titled, Entitled Teacher Acts Like a Lazy BTCH Then Blames Another Kid. Our second episode is titled, EM Thinks That I Will Get Sued for Taking a Picture of a Plane. Our third episode is titled, Sayles an EP literally has her child call and ask for my grandmother's dolls the day of the funeral. Hope you like it.
Storytime Guru, the best stories from Reddit.
If you like my content, please support my channel by clicking like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. Entitled Teacher Acts Like a Lazy BTCH Then Blames Another Kid. Posted by Englandismicety184. Howdy there, so I have been a long-time lurker on this sub, since 2017, and finally something happened worth posting. BG, I a 15-year-old boy who lives with his older brother and father, and I hate bullies a lot because I see them as cowards, and I also have a short temper that I am sure I got from my mother. Also, this conversation is mostly accurate as this happened in December. Cast me equals me, I know, shocking. C equals best friend / girlfriend, F equals friend, B equals the boys, EK1 equals little shit 1, EK2 equals crotch goblin from hell, ET equals entitled teacher, GT equals good teacher. Let's go with the story then. This happened in October when my school was still open, and we had a school celebration coming up where we celebrated everyone as an individual. Our school is tiny, less than 150 people, so we all know each other and generally love the festival as we each get to be creative. So anyway, my class of 6 had just finished the most recent round of tests and were all basically dead, and we had also finished the posters and presentations for the celebration which was going to take place next week, and of note is the fact that we had to put hours in the class of the grade 8, 11, 12-year-olds, because our homeroom wasn't big enough. Anyway, after we finished classes we had a half day, but all of us had to remain at school to help out with preparations, and GT had told us he'd asked if instead we could just hang around for the afternoon, and the principal, who is a very nice lady, said yes. So us and the grade 7, 10, 11-year-olds, were all in the garden, and I was playing a game of Pana with my friends. Google Pana game if you're curious, and suddenly appeared the grade 8. They are the biggest class in our school at a monstrous 12 people, and no one likes the class as most of them are loud and are not good at class. In particular, 2 of them, EK1 and EK2, suck massive balls, but until then they'd only really been petty little kids, so no biggie. But in the middle of my games with one of my classmates, F, a kid from grade 7 asks if we can teach him how to do panas. So we say yes, and the moment we do, the 2 SHT eaters start giggling and saying SHT like don't bother, he's bad anyway, and basically keep pestering him the whole time. Eventually F gets a bit flustered by all the insults and asks them, hey, if you think you're so good, let's do some panas, which they accept. Long story short, they lose badly, so instead of being chill about it, they suddenly ask about his poster, which is about sexuality and exploring it. So they ask him about sexuality, and because F is a really nice, if unaware guy, he says he's bi and wants people to accept that. So suddenly their eyes light up. IDK, how to explain better, and EK1 says, so you like it in the ass. Bear in mind this is an 11-year-old, and my friend is like a haha, I guess. This was a mistake, as they both immediately start cackling like some creepy horror show villains and try to pull his pants, underwear, because I know the word means different types of clothes, down, shouting, I thought you liked this. Now normally I would laugh insults off and maybe say some back, but this got me real mad. So I grabbed them one at a time, as gently as I could, and cuffed them as lightly as possible around the head and tried to say how it was unfair to say that. Then EK2 gets the bright idea to insult my absentee mother and my dad, who was AA, alcohol abuser, and say some effed up SHT about it, like something about me being born from a drunk hookup. At this point the whole playground is staring, and I think this is where I lose it a bit. More for my friend, who is always the nicest person I know and who always tries to be earnest and honest with people, so I just saw red and grabbed this little SHT and punched him square in the face quite hard. He reacted as most 11-year-olds would when they get punched in the face by a 6'2" 15-year-old who does boxing regularly. The boxing is relevant as it means I know where to hit him so that I hurt him less. But he still starts screaming about how I attacked him. Enter C, who is a class above me, B, GT, and ET, who is the teacher who was meant to watch the grade 8s but didn't. ET immediately screams my name. Why did you just punch EK2? And just before I can start shouting back at maximum pissed off level, EK1 wails out some story of how I attacked them both and called them several slurs. F calls bullshit, but ET grabs me by the arm, which I found audacious of her, and breaking the COVID rules, and takes me straight to the principal. The principal is a lady who I have known basically since I was born, as I think she was also one of the bridesmaids at my parents' wedding back when dinosaurs plotted the earth. She knows what I'm like and what happened to my parents, so she also knows I'm prone to being confrontational and a bit of a fighter. She promptly calls in the two EKs, F, and C and GT, asking ET to get all the other grade 8s in class. She listens first to the EKs talk about how I attack EdTHM for no reason, and then me and F say how they are insulting him for his sexuality and trying to pull his pants down. C and GT were called in as the principal thinks they see what happened, and the EKs immediately stare at them both as if asking for them to support their story, but neither say anything besides GT just nothing that EK1 and 2 have had similar incidents happen but have been let off. The principal immediately calls the EK1 and 2 parents and my brother to pick us up, and she basically says how while the ex did something wrong and will be in detention for the next 2 weeks, and she says while it's good I try to defend others, I still was going to get a week suspended because I simply can't go around punching kids. To my shock, the parents of the EKs are people I know well from the shopping place. As we live in a small town, most people know each other, and both sets of parents say sorry to F about their kid, and both say I did well to defend him, but I shouldn't have punched EK2. To finish the story, I went home to serve the suspension, and when C came over for a date she told me that F, the absolute saint that he is, told the principal it's his fault it happened, so he wanted to be suspended for a week too, which he was denied. But for as long as I live I will never meet anyone as earnest and kind as F. So all of you out there who have a friend like that, trust me, they'll always look it for you even if you don't know about it. Also, ET failed all my tests for no reason and she still claims I attacked those kids and demands often to the principal that I get expelled. First ever entitled teacher I've ever seen, but hope you guys like this. If anything is unclear or written badly, please tell me. Edit. Thanks so much for the awards, people. Best reply R32 fan. That teacher is an asshole. Asshole for those outside of the UK. I have also been bullied because of my sexuality. I'm a gay guy, and want to congratulate you for standing up for your friend. EK1, 2 and ET are all assholes. Fuck 'em all. EM thinks that I will get sued for taking a picture of a plane. Posted by Ghostbuster. Jeffrey. For a bit more context, I am an aviation enthusiast who hopes of someday becoming a commercial airline pilot. Because of this interest I like to go to airports to watch and take pictures of some aircraft. This is more commonly known as plane spotting. So one day, I am plane spotting at an airport on top of a parking garage. When I am up there, I see Em park her car in a parking spot near me. The garage was fairly empty due to COVID-19. She gets out of her car, gets her child and suitcases out of the backseat, and then looks at me. She walks over right as I take a picture of a plane taking off. Here is how the conversation goes. Hello there, me, hi, what could I do for you? I can't help but notice that you have a camera with you. May I ask what you are doing with it? Me, oh, I'm just taking some pictures of these planes flying around here. Well, you have to stop it now. Me, what? That is copyrighted material on those planes. It has the airline names and logos. You can't legally take those photos. Side note, what I was doing is fully legal since people have done this for decades without issues. Me, I do not, ma'am. What I am doing is completely legal. I take a picture of another plane here since one was taking off. That was an American Airlines plane. I will now contact American and tell them that you are illegally taking pictures of their airplanes. Me, ma'am, please go away. I am trying to politely explain that this is perfectly legal. American Airlines isn't going to sue me over a photo I legally took. Give me your camera's memory card. I will keep it for evidence of what you did. Me, I am not giving you anything, please. For the love of God, go away. Well, the only reason I came here is for a flight that I have to be on, not to spend 3 minutes arguing with you. Now give me your memory card before I have to go get my bags checked in. Me? No, fine. I will be contacting authorities once I get past airport security, so you'll get arrested either way. Goodbye, and I hope I never see you again. M goes in an elevator to get to the terminal entrance. Needless to say, I never got sued by any airlines, I never got contacted by police, and I got home with both my camera and SD card not being stolen by M. Thanks for taking the time to read my story, and I hope you all keep flying high. Best reply Virgins 28. Karen's IQ, lower than her son's age. Sil as an EP literally has her child call and ask for my grandmother's dolls the day of the funeral. Posted by Mommy20901. So my grandmother, G, collected dolls, and we did it together for years. She then fell ill with lung cancer, and we cared for her at home. I was working 32 hours a week and going to college FT and watching her at night so my mom, M, could rest. We received zero help from my siblings and no help from G's other kids except an aunt who stayed with her for a week and called for us to come home early from the trip. BC she couldn't do it even though she took care of her dead husband's mother and treated her like a queen. Fast forward to my G's passing. The day after G passed, my sister-in-law, Sil, calls me and says, "What are you doing with G's dolls?" I said that they would be put away for safekeeping for now. BC we were in so much pain that I literally felt my heart physically hurting. We were so sad about G dying. BC she lived with us the whole time growing up. She then proceeds to tell me I need to let each girl pick one and take care of it or maybe just give them to the girls, who never visited G. BC I was a grown woman, G had left me the dolls, I told her no and she was beyond livid. The day of the funeral, I pick up the phone as we are literally walking to the door with coats on to leave and her daughter calls me. Her daughter was about 5 or 6 at the time and could never have even formed to thought of asking and didn't even notice them when she did visit as a baby/toddler. She was made to ask me for the dolls. I literally hear my Sil in the background feeding her what to say. Hear her say that I would give it to her daughter. BC I wouldn't tell her no like I did the Sil. I politely told my niece that I wasn't doing that right now and that they were too young to take care of them anyway so that would be decided later. Then I asked to speak to the Sil and tell her that it was inappropriate, and she shouldn't have her daughter call BC. It set her up to be hurt. Sil was still mad. BC those are expensive dolls and there are too many for you to deserve to keep all of them. This is coming from the same woman that then kept her kids away from my parents and ghosted them and then sent the child over as she neared 18 to ask if my dad was going to put her in his and my mom's will. Really? I was so happy when my brother divorced her. After she left a Dear John note on the table. She wanted to experiment. Basically BC I never showed my oats when I was young. From what I understand she sewed plenty. They had been married for 17 years, apparently. She married him for our family name and thought he would be rich then. BC my dad drove a Lincoln and had a business, and she thought my brother would inherit everything. Apparently, she got tired of waiting. She was just plain entitled, as a parent and as a person in general. Best reply by our 32 fan. The Lion, the Witch, and the audacity of this BTCH. If you like my content, please support my channel by clicking like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell.